I was home that day. It was just me and my mom. The TV was rolling and they were giving a commercial. It was October, it was a breast cancer awareness month. And we were watching like a 10-minute commercial about how to self-examine yourself for breast cancer to feel any tumors. And so I did it because why not? And when I felt it, I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, feel this. Immediately, everything, it was so fast. We went through the emergency because we didn't know how to go about it in the sense of where do we go? We got the results about a week later. I remember I was sitting with my mom, it was the doctor, and they told us, you have breast cancer. At the moment when it happened, it didn't dawn on me until I went outside that we were leaving the appointment and one of the nurses hugged me and she said, it's gonna be okay. And it hit me oh my God. And I just sat back on the bench that I was in and I put up my legs and I put my head down and I just started crying and I was thinking, I'm gonna die. Moving on, we get the treatment, we get the diagnosis, everything happens. Right away, they tell us, we're going to do the bilateral mastectomy, which is the removal of both breasts. About 3 weeks after the surgery, I started the chemo and I started the treatments with the hormonal treatment and the chemo itself also. And I was 22 years old. And you look down and you see this insane looking thing, the pain that you have to go through, months of therapy just to learn how to move your arms up to here again because everything here is so connected with your core. You need it completely. And it was frustrating to look to the side and you see your brother get up easily and you see your mother get up like nothing and you need help from 3 different people to stand up. And because of how thin I was from the depression, I lost so much weight like this. After all of that, I had a friend he was evangelized to at school. He invited me maybe 3 times and I was kind of it took me some time to go. And I'll never forget in that moment at the House of Peace when the leader said the most beautiful prayer that at that moment I had ever heard. And even before he said the prayer, I was already in my heart and in my spirit had already found something. I started weeping and I didn't even know why I was crying. My hands started to shake. My body started to tremble. My eyelids were trembling, everything. I remember even my eyelids were trembling. I remember thinking, you're real, this is real, this is amazing. Because when I first felt the love of God at that House of Peace, when covered my entire body and I fell on my knees and I was getting delivered at that House of Peace, that was never the same for me again. In my head, all I can think of was, you're real. It was God. It was the person that you hear of when you're a little kid, the person you hear of all the time and that people easily take, thank God. They say that phrase, that thing so easily. And this was the God that showed up at the House of Peace and healed me completely from breast cancer. So now it has been 7 years and I have been completely healed from cancer. I have been sharing what God has done, sharing the goodness of God, sharing the love of God, the mercy of God, the kindness of God, because a lot of people don't know these things. And I have had so many tears from the women that lay on the bed when I'm working on their eyebrows. God is real and we go through this thing and we have full-on conversations about their lives and what they're going through, and I have something to give them. I have something to share with them because what God has given me. I'm just forever, eternally grateful for what God has done, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I am now prospering in a way that I have never had. My finances don't stop. I've never seen what I have now. Financially, I've never been as comfortable as I am. God has been amazingly good. God has been perfect. Even through the hard times where you can't see, He's been perfect. He's been so good.